my name is Megan. I had done a really long video, but apparently you have to you have to have a phone to verify who you are. So I'm going to try this again, but in shorts. So I'm doing Rapture series, I suppose, of confirmation that is both Bible tied and what's going on in the world. And I'm going to start out actually kind of talking about the people who keep claiming that no one knows the day nor the hour. It'll be like a thief. First, the no one knows the date or the hour is a specific reference to two things that any Jewish person at the time and now would understand. And that is, one, a reference to a Jewish wedding, and that is because what would happen is the groom would propose, they'd be betrothed and be in a covenant, and once the bride said yes, the man would go back home to his mother and father and build a house. And once it was complete, the father would say yay or nay of whether or not it's ready. And then once it was perfected, the father would be like, thumbs up. He knows the day and hour. And he would say, okay, in a week, you will get married. A message would go to the bride and to tell the bride, hey, get ready. We're getting married in a week, or we're getting married on this day. And so she would get ready and then meet her spouse, and they would get married. And that was one. The other is Rosh Hashanah, aka Feast of Trumpets. It was saying that because the sliver of the moon had to be witnessed by two witnesses, which, by the way, two witnesses is something that happens later in the Bible in prophecy, in the Revelations, about the two witnesses that are in Israel that will be killed and then resurrected in 3.5 days. That's a whole, side note. But God is all about doublespeak. He definitely repeats stories in the Bible to kind of prove the new story. So there's that. So everybody saying that is wrong or don't understand the Jewish idiom. The other one is all these people keep saying that about it'll be like a thief in the night, except it blows my mind because it's in 1 Thessalonians 5:2 that it'll be like a thief in the night, except in 1 Thessalonians 5:4, literally right after, it says, but you, brothers and sisters, are not in the darkness, so this day shouldn't surprise you like a thief in the night. Interesting, isn't it? So all of you who are hating on people for saying they've seen these visions, or you're 100% sure it's not going to happen, if you're saying what you're claiming, that we don't know when, you can't say with certainty that these people are wrong. Maybe you just don't know, but a lot of us are pretty sure. I'm never going to stake my life on it, but I am 98% sure that Rapture is coming, and Rapture is coming during Feast of Trumpets, and it has to be during the Feast of Trumpets. Literally, biblically, every feast has already been fulfilled except for the fall feasts, which is Feast of Trumpets, feasts of, or Yom Kippur, which is Day of Atonement, and, atonement means like facing your sins. And the last one is the Feast of Tabernacles, which is, 1,000-year reign. That's what that's about. So, literally the next one could be Feast of Trumpets. Also, Feast of Trumpets is significant because when the Rosh Hashanah would happen, 100 trumpets would blow a horn. And for the first time in about 2,000 years, guess what's happening in Israel this year? For the first time again in 2,000 years. They are going to blow the horn. Not just do that, 100 shofars or trumpets are going to be blown to celebrate this feast 2 different days in a row. First is going to be on the 23rd and the 24th. For Americans, it's the 22nd and 23rd. So just because it happens in Israel doesn't mean it's not going to happen here. Hi, Nala. Sorry, that's my cat. Well, technically not mine, but she's mine. She stays in my room at night. Anyway, so I just find that fascinating. That's just one of thousands. So I'm going to go into detail over this series. So this is video 1. Because clearly I can't do it all. I only have a Text Now app, and you have to verify your phone number, and Text Now, you gotta pay for that. And I am super poor. In fact, in October, I'm about to be homeless. Unless Rapture happens, I don't really have to worry about it. And I'm not really too worried, one way or the other, I'll figure it out. But it's a very long story. I'm broke and disabled. I've got a brain tumor, and I'm dying. Long story. But the point is, I couldn't do the whole video, so I'm going to break it down, which is probably good. Attention spans and all. If you have more questions on this one alone, go for it. Any of these videos you have questions about, let me know. But just, look into what a lot of this says. By the way, the bride thing, this is why I kind of like having a succinct video, because I can explain all this stuff in more detail. The bride, we are the bride. The church is the bride. And Daniel talks about the bride, and Daniel says that half the bride is left behind. Half the bride are banging on the door saying, Lord, Lord, and he's like, I didn't know you. And when the Bible talks about the oil lamps, it says that those who are awake and waiting for the husband are going to have lamps full of oil, and the people who are ignoring it and basically just brushing it off are going to be low on oil, so they won't see what's coming. Again, thief in the night. So that's part 1. I'm gonna get into a whole series. Good luck, guys. Hope I see you soon.